So when a woman is pregnant with a baby, she would like to know how healthy the baby is. But for many years, the definitive way to do that is to stick a needle into the uterus of the mother and take some sample from the baby in a process called amniocentesis. And every time we do that, there is a small chance, of about 0.5% chance, that the baby will be harmed or the baby might even miscarry. I remember that in late 1996, I came across two papers which says that tumor will release its DNA into the plasma of cancer patients. And then suddenly I thought that, well, so if a small cancer can release DNA into a plasma of a patient, maybe a big fetus can also do the same thing. So that I thought maybe there is fetal DNA in the plasma of pregnant women. That time I have no idea how do you extract the DNA from plasma. I still remember that when I was in Oxford, when the food in the college was very bad, and actually sometimes I'll cook instant noodles in my room. So I thought, well, can you cook plasma like you cook instant noodles? So you basically just boil the plasma for 5 minutes and take a little bit of that to be tested. And interestingly and excitingly, even with that crude preparation, I was able to detect fetal DNA in the mother's plasma. So that was how it was discovered. You can actually detect the fetal DNA as early as 7 weeks of pregnancy. And so that means that the technology can potentially be used for early non-invasive prenatal testing. Now, because you can imagine that, and at that time, most people are thinking that, well, DNA should be present inside cells rather than swimming outside cells. So it's very a risky project to do this.
As a student of Professor Low, there were a number of sayings that I remembered very vividly. One of them was, he was trying to encourage us and tell us how important it is to try our best in everything and compete on the international scale. So he would say to us, it's not good enough to be number 2, because being number 2 means being the first loser. So that is how high a standard that he expects on us.
And the next thing we think about is, well, can we use it for something more challenging, like Down syndrome? So basically what we do is that we sequence millions of DNA molecules in the mother's blood. And then from the sequencing data, we work out the ratios of different chromosomes. We published in 2008 that using this technology on a small cohort, you can actually have really close to 100% accuracy. And then we actually published the first large-scale trial of this technology in 2011, and to show that the technology is around 99% accurate. And within 10 months, the technology is launched clinically. To date, 5 years into a launch, the technology is now used by millions of pregnant women in over 90 countries around the world. Now in China, every year, 2 million pregnant women actually go for non-invasive prenatal testing. So this really has created a paradigm shift in prenatal testing. Being a scientist, you need imagination. Doing science is actually very similar to even a director thinking and making a movie, because we both basically dream about an idea in our mind, and then we transform that into reality. When I did the fetal genome sequencing, actually that idea actually came from watching a movie. And I remember that at that time I was trying to sequence the fetal genome from the mother's plasma, until one day I actually went to see a Harry Potter movie with my wife in 3D, seeing a Harry Potter sign flying out towards me. And then suddenly I saw the Harry H, which is with the 2-stroke, which at that moment it looks to me like a pair of chromosomes. And then suddenly I realized that for every pair of chromosomes the baby has got, there's one copy from father and one copy from mother. Then maybe we can have 2 algorithms to solve the 2 halves. And that was exactly what we did. So in the end, within a few months, we cracked that problem. So yes, the imagination is very important. I think now is really the most exciting time to be a life scientist. Because biology, I think that human being is really one of the most complex machines, if you may look at it. before, we actually didn't have the tool to allow us to study at the precision that we want. And now, with more recent development like the Human Genome Project and other subsequent large-scale projects, will allow us to really understand us, human being, as a species, at a precision or level of detail which is unprecedented. Well, I think that the essence of science is basically to the objective search for eternal truth. And I think it's probably as simple as that.